This is known as Halfway Lake, and there's actually some interesting facts related to it, but it's not to be confused with Camp Crystal Lake. To find out where I'm at and to learn more about this lake, all you need to do is come along with me. Welcome to Raymond B Winter Park, a place that I'm calling a hidden little gem here in Pennsylvania. This place offers swimming, fishing, camping, grilling, gotta have food, hiking, and some really scenic and peaceful areas of this park that sits on almost 700 acres. We're gonna walk around, check it out, see what it has to offer, and learn more about it. I have to say the drive-in here was absolutely gorgeous. A nice, shady, rather private paved road that went through the middle of the woods, through the middle of the park. Now there are numerous access points which will lead you to different parts of the park. There's the campground area, there is the lake area, there is hiking trails, there's a little bit of everything for almost everyone. And apparently that kid's not having a good time. He wants to go. This looks like a perfect spot to sit and relax and to admire this view. It is very unfortunate that it's a cloudy, overcast day because I was hoping for sunny, clear skies that allow you to really see the water, the landscape in more clarity than what you're seeing now. But I can't control the weather, but we'll make do with what we have. At least it's not raining, it's not windy. But from here you can see the lake is not that big. Halfway Lake is kind of holds up to the name. It's like halfway through the park. Now there is the beach area. There's a concession stand, I believe, bathrooms. Over there's a playground, volleyball net. The dam spillway is over there. And a fish just jumped. And if I'm not mistaken, I think you can walk around the entire lake, which we may do. But there is hiking trails that go through different parts of the forest. And there's picnic tables, grills, pretty much anything you need to have a relaxing time here. Not that I'm trying to sell you on the park, but just stating the obvious. These are things I would look for if I was to visit here. And when I drove by and saw the lake in the spillway and looked up at what it actually was, I was like, yeah, this is probably worthy of a video, and a place I've never heard of before. And what I can tell you is that it's about 18 miles, just under 20 miles to the town of Lewisburg. It's probably the most, or I should say the largest major town from here is Lewisburg, 18 miles away. But we're gonna walk around, make our way to the spillway. We'll check out the beach. I was gonna get you some underwater footage of the water, but skies are not cooperating, so unfortunately we just have to see it from land here. This is quite nice. Except for the crying kid in the distance. So as mentioned, Halfway Lake does have some interesting facts tied to it. I'm going to read some of the information I found. So Halfway Lake is filled by spring-fed mountain streams. It's contained by a hand-laid native sandstone dam, the first cement and stone dam ever built by the Civilian Conservation Corps. The temperature in the water in Halfway Lake is always about 50 degrees in the summer. It's because much of the lake is filled with water that comes directly from underground. Little Bubbler is an artesian spring that seeps up through the sand on the west end of the beach at the park here, so we'll see if we can find that. Swimming is permitted, but lifeguards are not provided as of 2008. Halfway Lake is a cold water fishery that's stocked with brook, brown, and rainbow trout, and ice fishing is permitted when the lake is frozen and the ice is at least 4 inches thick. So here's one of the sources that feeds Halfway Lake. Beautiful flowing stream that flows directly under this graded bridge and helps fill up the lake. Here's a bit more information regarding this park. So Raymond B Winter State Park covers 695 acres of the Ridge and Valley Province in central Pennsylvania. It's located within the Bald Eagle State Forest, and the park lies in a shallow basin surrounded by rocky ridges covered with an oak and pine forest. I have to say the water is rather clear. Not crystal clear, but here it's roughly a foot deep. I could see the bottom. I think you guys could too. There's some little tiny minnows or guppies swimming around. But fishing is permitted year-round, as well as ice fishing. But as stated, it's going to be a cold swim unless it's a super hot, humid day. But it doesn't really get much warmer than around 50 degrees due to that natural spring-fed source. But I would imagine that even though there's water continually coming into here, if there was several hot, humid days baking down in the lake, it would probably warm up a few degrees, maybe into the middle or upper 50s. It would still be cold, but on a day like that, it would probably feel extremely refreshing. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing overshort.
Any luck today?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I got 3.
Nice. Live bait or lures?
I didn't see the eagle out lately.
Nah?
Must have been hiding.
Taking a break today.
Huh?
Taking a break today.
Must be.
Oh yeah, I see them down there. You got 3 nice ones.
Oh, they're okay. They aren't really that big, but big enough to eat.
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, happy fishing. First gentleman we talked to said it's only his second time here fishing. Nothing yet. The old timer, he's got 3 in the net in the water. Looks like he caught 3 trout. He said not big, but big enough to eat. That's all that matters, I guess. Here we are at the focal point of Halfway Lake. That is the dam spillway, which says to keep off of so we can't walk out there. But look at the spillway down here, the collection pond. We should be able to walk down there, and we'll have to cross over the roadway bridge, and there's a walking trail that will take us out to that little dock over there, which is where you actually saw the opener of today's video. Oh, I actually see a large fish swimming right there. I'm going to see if I get a picture of it. I inserted the picture. Hopefully you can see it. It looks like maybe a rainbow trout. It's bright orange coming, circling around there. Good size one. Now for those who want to come here and just do some fishing, or to get some pictures, or just take a break, they do have a parking lot right along the road here. I believe that's Route 192. But they do have additional parking lots further into the park. So this is the dam spillway that holds some history as being the first dam ever built by the Civilian Conservation Corps. Hand-laid native sandstone, cement and stone dam combination. And looks like it's holding up quite well. I'm not sure if there's been any work done to it, but as far as I can tell, it looks pretty original. I do love the stonework around the entire perimeter here, even going up into the embankment here, but nice circular stone collection basin. And even the walls themselves are all stone. You actually feel a nice little cool breeze coming off of this. Feels really nice. Looks like you do need to walk on the shoulder to access the other side of the lake near the spillway. There's also trails on the other side. That one states Mid-State Trail. So I think there's a few miles of trails here if I'm not mistaken. Do you smell that? You know you're at a state park when you smell that distinct smell. You know what it is? Charcoal and lighter fluid. I can see the fire or the smoke clear on the other side of the lake. I can smell it all the way over here. Unmistakable smell. I do wonder how deep this lake is. I mean, right here it's shallow, but it does slope downwards. So I wonder how deep it is in the center. It does state no boats. I'm guessing maybe less than 10 feet. I could be wrong, but that's how it appears. But this stonework here continues down for as far as I could see. It goes at least another 4 or 5 feet into the water. So just kind of follows the landscape here. As a person who loves water and water features, I'm definitely enjoying this. Imagine this view too in the fall season. Although it's a lot of pines, there's a lot of green leaves as well, so that would make for a nice colorful backdrop in the fall season, and maybe I'll have to make a trip out here that time of year. Big old pine tree right at the water's edge here. Probably some good fishing under there. And here's the little deck area. Bring yourself a folding chair and you could certainly have a little piece of paradise right here. Just up from this section of the lake is another trail that intersects with this one. This is known as Mid-State Trail. No bikes or horseback riding allowed. But it does go up here. Orange trailblazes. And it looks like a very scenic area of forest here. If you're willing to carry your supplies from either the road up there or back there, you can have a really great picnic / grilling area, because look at this. Your own little private spot here. So you do have to obviously supply your own charcoal, but they do have picnic tables here. Very shady, so you don't have to worry about getting beat down by the sun. And you have your own little personal shoreline, which if you're here, you could come down here, do a little fishing. It's close proximity to the beach. Yeah, very nice. My footsteps are echoing through the woods here. It's super quiet. The only thing I could hear is just the people down there. But I'm going to stay quiet and just show you the surroundings here. And you can basically hear what I hear. Silence and some birds chirping and the occasional vehicle. How nice is this? It's almost like a little patio area. They got a picnic table, fireplace for those cool fall, spring, even summer nights. charcoal grill right there so you could roast some marshmallows, grill some burgers. This is really nice. I'm pleasantly surprised. This is like a little hidden gem. I never heard of this park other than driving by it accidentally. And it's really peaceful here. But the bugs are out. I'm only pretty much passing through the area today, so I'm not equipped to stay here for hours on end. But I certainly can see myself returning, either to hike some of the trails, maybe even do some swimming and snorkeling, more picture taking. Definitely bring some food and make a day of it. It's close enough to, I would say, from Interstate 80, probably a 20 to 30 minute drive at most, maybe less than that. But it's just under 20 miles from Lewisburg. So that kind of gives you a roundabout idea as to where we're located. Now this is a second stream that's flowing into the lake. As we did state, there are multiple streams, natural streams. Some of them come from underground that feed and fill this lake. So this is the second one that we can confirm right here. A little pedestrian bridge going over it, and basically two opposite ends have sources feeding Halfway Lake. If you see sand, that can only mean one of a few things. We're either at a desert, in a giant sandbox, or on a beach. Oh, we already know we're at the beach. An empty beach because of the weather. I could imagine hot summer days, especially on weekends, this would be quite busy. They do have a buoy line, which is okay, so it can actually help us identify the depth of the water. Walking very cautiously not to get a sneaker full of sand. So warning, no lifeguard services, swim at your own risk. Call 911 for emergencies. Body of water may be cold, may have an uneven bottom, and other inherent dangers may exist. Do not dive. Swim in buoyed areas only. Leave the beach area. The first signs of danger: lightning, thunder, seek shelter. Adults, please watch the children. Swimming from 8 a.m. to sunset. It's a pretty large swimming area. It's like a sandy bottom, obviously uneven, as sand typically is. The far back side of the buoy line has 5 feet markers. So it's a depth of 5 feet at the back buoy line. So which means past that could be deeper, but I still think it's under 10 feet, or 10 feet at most. But 5 feet of depth is a pretty good swimming area. Whether you're a foot tall or 7 feet tall, it is large enough to get all the way in there, cool off. I think if I do return, though, I will be bringing my snorkeling gear and my underwater metal detector. Places like this, typically you can find loose change, maybe some jewelry, especially with the sandy bottom. People step on it and it gets just buried right under the surface and people can't find it. So if I do return, I will bring the necessary gear to do some snorkeling and detecting, and maybe we'll find some loose change or something more significant. And speaking of smells, I do smell something else in the air. This one is not native to a state park. The term I like to call it is devil's lettuce. And I believe it's coming from the group that's barbecuing back there. I smelled it around them. It's lofting over here. So, guess that's what you have to sometimes deal with. I dealt with it a lot in Vegas. I didn't think I'd smell it here, but devil's lettuce, it's here at the state park too. Looking in the background, there's a pavilion back there. Numerous picnic tables. Looks like a concession stand here. I think it's called the Winter... No, not Winter. B&B Concessions. Which I don't think is open but I do see an ice cream cone on the sign. Probably your typical concession stuff like maybe popcorn, pretzels, hot dogs, drinks, ice cream. I'd imagine there's probably showers over there as well. Now, upon reading the information, it did state there was a type of artesian well, like an underground well that flows up to the surface. And it said the west end of the beach, which is over here. I don't know if it's marked or not. There is a marker up there, but I'm hoping we can find it. That'd be pretty neat to check out. Anyone hungry? Nacho cheese Doritos. I think these are from that crying kid that we heard earlier. The one that said, I want to go, I want to leave. He was so cranky they left in such a hurry. He left his Doritos behind. There's the swing clear across where we were sitting there earlier, admiring the views. Realistically, if you were to walk around the entire lake without stopping, without taking breaks or pictures or anything else, probably be a 15 to 20 minute walk. Very enjoyable walk around it. Snakes. Why'd it have to be snakes? Look carefully. From April to October, you might spot Pennsylvania's most common water snake, the non-venomous northern water snake. Likes to be close to water and good hiding places like rocks, logs, and brush piles. I'd rather not see one. I'm glad to know it's not venomous, but oh, you see, it even says mistaken identity. Don't confuse a harmless northern water snake with a venomous northern copperhead or eastern cottonmouth. I wouldn't really know the difference. A snake is a snake, which means I'm getting my butt out of there. I think we may have found that Artesian Spring. What do we have? Maybe? I don't want to say for certain that's it. It's a little corrugated plastic culvert pipe. The water is flowing out. I don't know if that's it. It's coming from underground, so it may just be coming from a source further up, or maybe up from underground. I don't want to confirm, but that's the only thing I see so far that could possibly be the underground spring. This looks more like something that would be a well or a spring. It is constructed out of stone, held together with concrete. Lush green here. It is wet there. I don't see any flow, but it doesn't mean it's not coming up. It could be coming up from underground. This is more likely the source. I just wish it was identified or something more obvious than that. But I don't see it coming underground, so I think it's more likely this than that pipe over there. So the day I was here at the park, I didn't find the underground spring. I saw those two areas which I assumed was one of those two, possibly being the underground spring. Well, I actually ended up returning to this park just a few days later as I was passing through the area again, and I was determined to find that little artesian bubbler spring. So I want to show you the clip right now of when I found it. So I actually found little bubbler spring. You can see it right here, bubbling up from underground. So that is a fresh water source from underneath the surface. Pretty neat to find. And from there, it flows through here and then leads into the lake. As we saw, I found the source of the little artesian spring. It was having the sand bubble up, and the water is going through that little channel through the culvert and discharging at that second spot I found where that green patchy moss was, where I said there's no flow. It is slowly flowing out of there, but the little artesian spring is constantly flowing from underground and providing fresh, clean, filtered water directly into the lake. So now that we found it, back to the rest of the video. We're back here now showing the first stream-fed source of Halfway Lake. So we did circumference the entire lake. Jamming out. So this is certainly no Camp Crystal Lake, but that's a good thing. Halfway Lake, I think is absolutely gorgeous. And from what I could see, just from walking around, looking at the lake, at any given moment, there's fish jumping, leaping, and as we saw, that old timer caught some dinner for himself. And without a doubt, I've said it before, that places are hidden gems. This place, this park fits in that category. With all the amenities it has to offer, relatively close access to the highway, and when I say close, it's under half an hour, but it's not all that well known as far as I know. I've never heard of it until I accidentally stumbled upon it, and when I learned more about it, I decided it was worth a visit to come back and make a video. And I'm glad I did, and more importantly, I'm glad you guys came along as well. If you've ever been here, would love to hear your thoughts on what you love about this park. And if you're looking for a place to go camping, fishing, swimming, even grilling, which is my favorite part, this is a place that you could consider. It's kind of, you know, almost middle of the state type of thing. Less than 20 miles from Lewisburg. And it's just a really scenic, peaceful area. When you get away from the music, the devil's lettuce, and the occasional vehicle, it's really quiet. And you can really immerse yourself in this place. And it seems like a relatively safe place as well, which is good. It's clean, safe, and most importantly, beautiful. I will provide a link down below in the description if you want to get more information about this park. But Raymond B Winter State Park is definitely a hidden gem here in Pennsylvania. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. And I just want to say to get out and explore your world. Thanks again.